Okay, what if I told you there's a phone out there right now that basically has a power bank strapped inside it? Seriously. But there's a catch. No 5G. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tearing into the Vivo Y50 4G. We're going to find out if trading super fast 5G for literally endless battery life is, well, the ultimate student life hack. Let's get right into it.
Just so you know where we're headed, here's a quick roadmap. We'll start with Chapter 1, the massive battery. Then Chapter 2, bright and smooth display. Chapter 3 covers performance and cooling. Chapter 4 is design and durability. Chapter 5 tackles the cameras. And finally, Chapter 6, price and the final verdict.
All right, moving right into Chapter 1, the massive battery champion.
Okay, I need you to look at this number. 8,100. That's 8,100 milliamp hours. Let that sink in for a sec. Most of those expensive flagship phones everyone's carrying around campus today, they're sitting at maybe 4,500 or 5,000 if you're lucky. This Vivo's packing nearly double the juice. It's actually kind of wild.
So what does this actually mean for you, right? Well, in the real world, it translates to a solid day and a half to 2 days of use. And I don't mean just sitting in your pocket. I mean heavy video streaming, watching online lectures, playing games, doing the whole social media scroll. And the phone just won't die on you. You can officially stop hunting for wall outlets in the library. And hey, when you do eventually manage to drain it, it's got 44-watt wired fast charging, so you're not stuck waiting around forever to top it back up.
Okay, on to Chapter 2, a bright, smooth display.
Because you're going to be staring at this thing for 2 days straight, the screen really matters. We're looking at a huge, immersive 6.83-inch AMOLED display. It's got a 1.5K resolution, meaning text on your digital textbooks and graphics on your videos are going to be incredibly sharp, specifically 449 pixels per inch. Plus, it's got a buttery smooth 120 Hz refresh rate, so scrolling through your feeds feels absolutely seamless.
Now check out this stark difference. Most standard phones top out at around 1,500, maybe 2,000 nits of peak brightness. The Vivo Y50 4G? It hits an insane 5,000 nits. No way, right? Why do you care? Well, if you're walking across campus in the middle of the day with harsh, direct sunlight blinding you, this screen stays perfectly legible. Seriously, no more awkward squinting or cupping your hand over the phone just to read a text message outside.
Moving right along to Chapter 3, performance and smart cooling.
So, what's under the hood? It's powered by the Unisoc T730 chipset. That's an octa-core processor built on a 6nm process. Throw in 8 gigs of RAM and up to 256 gigs of storage, and you've got a really solid setup. Now, look, to be completely transparent, you're not going to max out the graphics on heavy AAA games with this. But for daily student life, it's perfect. It handles messaging, TikTok, YouTube, and all your multitasking without even breaking a sweat.
And here's something you definitely don't always see in this price bracket: vapor chamber cooling. Think of it like a giant internal cooling pad. It's a massive 4,300 square millimeter system that spreads heat out efficiently. So if you're pulling an all-nighter watching lectures, or you're stuck in a really long gaming session with friends, it physically stops the phone from slowing down or getting all uncomfortably hot in your hands. A real game changer.
Next up, Chapter 4, durable design and cameras.
So the Y50 4G comes in 2 super clean understated finishes, midnight blue and pearl white. It's got this distinct rectangular camera module on the back that gives the 4G variant its own unique identity. Now, I do have to mention, because they crammed an 8,100 mAh battery inside, it's a bit heavier, sitting at roughly 210 grams. It feels solid and reassuring, for sure, but it is something to keep in mind if you have smaller hands or just prefer ultralight phones.
But here's where it gets crazy. The durability. We usually see an IP68 rating on high-end phones, right? This one rocks an IP69 rating. That is literally the ultimate level of protection. It shrugs off dust, regular everyday spills, and get this, even high-pressure, high-temperature water jets. So, if you get caught in a sudden rainstorm between classes or spill coffee on your desk, zero stress. You are totally fine.
Let's quickly break down the cameras. On the back, you've got a 50-megapixel main shooter with a wide aperture. It's super reliable for everyday photos. Whether you're snapping a pic of the whiteboard from the back of the lecture hall or getting shots with friends in less than ideal lighting, it does the job. There's also a 2-megapixel macro lens for fun close-up details. And around front, a really sharp 32-megapixel selfie camera. Your video calls back home are going to look incredibly crisp.
All right, let's look at Chapter 5, Connectivity Overview.
Okay, so here is the elephant in the room, the main trade-off. It is 4G LTE only, no 5G. But honestly, skipping those complex, bulky 5G antennas is exactly how Vivo managed to fit that gigantic battery and keep the cost down. Beyond that, it has all the modern connectivity basics you need. You're getting dual-band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.4, a USB Type-C port, and, super importantly, Dual SIM support. Dual SIM is absolutely clutch if you want to keep a separate number for a part-time job or group projects without lugging around two phones.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Chapter 6, Price and the Final Verdict.
So this phone initially dropped in the Vivo Pakistan online store. The base model with 128 gigs of storage is 99,999 Pakistani rupees. For context, that converts to roughly 34,000 Indian rupees. If you need more space for all those files and photos, the 256 gig version is 109,999 Pakistani rupees, or about 38,000 Indian rupees. Honestly, for a device with this level of absolute endurance and display quality, it's a highly competitive package.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Basically, this phone was built specifically for the battery anxious. If you are that student, you know exactly who you are, who is constantly checking their battery percentage, sprinting for an outlet in the cafeteria, or carrying a heavy power bank everywhere you go. Vivo literally designed this phone for you. They hit the nail right on the head.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer. I want to leave you with one final, provocative question to chew on. Would you trade 5G speed for 2 extra days of battery life? It's a deliberate, fascinating choice by Vivo, prioritizing unmatched endurance and a brilliant display over cutting-edge network speeds. Take a second to think about what actually matters most in your daily routine. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer. Keep on learning, and I'll catch you next time.